Guys, what's up? My name's Rob. I'm in my first week of my second season as a professional basketball player in Italy, and I want to share with you today the main thing you need to be thinking about if you want to level up for this coming season, and it has to do with your mind and how you look at yourself. So, guys, I played Division 3. I didn't start my freshman year. I scored like 3 points per game and I took a gap year during COVID, and that's when I really focused on developing my game and especially my mind because I knew that I wanted to play professionally. And I grew so much over that year and eventually became a really good Division 3 player and now an overseas pro. And this thing I'm about to share is honestly the most important thing that you can do if you want to become a totally different player and really take a leap and level up before the season starts this year. So, this thing that I'm talking about is your identity. And your identity is the story you tell yourself about yourself. So, it's who you view yourself as a person, as a player, as you go through your basketball career, and honestly, your daily lives. So, the main piece of your identity is your values. Okay, so what do you value on a day-to-day basis as a person? But for our purposes here, I want to talk about what you value as a basketball player. And a lot of people value things such as scoring points or winning games. And those things are great things to shoot for. However, sometimes they're not always in your control. Really, the overarching reason why this is important is because winning games, scoring points, the opinions of others, these things are all external. So they don't come from within. It's all an external source that you can't necessarily control, right? And you may think, yeah, I can control how many points I score in a game, but just think about the long game here, right? And take a great NBA player like Steph, LeBron, whoever you want to take. They don't score a lot of points every single game, right? There's guaranteed to be games in your career where you don't score 20 points a game. So if your identity is being validated by scoring 20 points a game and it doesn't happen, then your confidence might go from here to here, right? And we want confidence to be steady and even increasing over time. And things that need to be validated externally are not going to help us there. We want our identity to be tied to things that we can control 100% of the time. And what I've learned, and as far as I know, there's only two things, and you may have heard this before, but those two things are attitude for one and effort for two. No matter the situation, you can control those two things at all times. We talked in the last video about the habit tracker and how confidence is directly related to discipline, right? So every time that you tell yourself you're going to do something and you follow through with it, you know that you're a trustworthy person to yourself. So in this case, we're taking the exact same principle and just applying it to how we act instead of what we're actually doing, right? So for the habit tracker, it was, okay, I'm going to do this task and I'm going to follow through with this. With the identity piece that we're talking about now, it's I'm going to act in this way. And when I do act in this way, that's also a tick up to my confidence because I told myself I was going to act like this and I followed through with it. So I always want to give you guys something that you can tangibly use the next time you step onto the court for workout, game, practice, whatever it is. So for identity, before you go to your next workout or next game, I just want you to write down in a journal, ideally, or on a piece of paper, I am somebody that gives 100% effort. That's one line. Second line, I am somebody that always keeps a positive attitude. And that's it. So what you're doing there is repping out your mindset, right? Having a good mindset takes practice. You don't just flip a switch and say, I'm going to be the most mentally tough person out there. It doesn't work like that. It's actually a skill in the same way that ball handling or shooting is. The first time you picked up a basketball, you didn't have the handles you do now, and you probably couldn't make that many shots, and that's because you were new to it and you hadn't built that skill. So we need to build these skills now. When you write down those two identity statements before you play, you're putting in those reps into your mind. The more you do that, the more conditioned your mind starts to become to those things, and you actually start to believe it, and that becomes the truth over time without you actually having to think about it, just like any other skill. So that's pretty surface level stuff about identity, but still extremely, extremely powerful. It can make an instant change in your mindset, and sometimes that's all you need. I used to be a guy that was great at hitting shots in workouts, could, do really well one-on-one, pick up games, and then the pressure kind of got to me because I was worried about so many external things during real games that actually counted for something, like middle school, high school games. And obviously, that's not where any of us want to be. We want to perform when the time comes. So if you guys have any questions about this or anything deeper that you want to go into, just send me a message or leave a comment. And if not, I'll see you guys in the next video. Talk to you soon. Peace.